Cupertino is doing something completely insane this September, and honestly, I am still trying to wrap my head around it. Apple is about to walk onto the stage with its most expensive iPhone lineup in history. But the most shocking part is what they are leaving behind. The standard, baseline iPhone that normally anchors the entire fall event might just be completely missing from the lineup. That completely rewrites the playbook for this year, but that is actually not the detail that has me obsessively checking the rumor mill. There is a whole different category of hardware that Apple has reportedly kept locked in a vault for months, just waiting for the software to catch up. If they finally drop it next month, it changes everything we know about the Apple ecosystem. First, let's talk timing. Apple hasn't officially fired off the media invites yet, but Mark Gurman is heavily leaning towards September 8th as the primary target, with September 9th sitting right there as a backup plan since Labor Day hits on the 7th. So, we are literally weeks away from Tim Cook pacing across the stage at the Steve Jobs Theater. But when you walk into an Apple store this fall, the experience is going to feel incredibly bizarre. The current supply chain chatter indicates Apple is strictly launching the iPhone 18 Pro, the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and their long-awaited first foldable iPhone. The regular iPhone 18, delayed until spring 2027. Think about the pricing psychology here. You want the newest daily driver in September, but you absolutely do not want to carry around a fragile folding tablet. Your baseline entry into the newest generation suddenly becomes the Pro model. And this is where the infamous Apple tax hits harder than ever. Supply chain whispers suggest the 18 Pro is getting a massive price hike, anywhere from $200 to $300. If the base model Pro creeps up that high, the September event stops being about choosing between a budget phone and a premium phone. It becomes a choice between expensive, extremely expensive, and absolutely astronomical. That astronomical tier is reserved for the foldable. We are looking at a device that could easily shatter the $2,000 barrier. Just let that sink in for a minute. Apple is shifting from selling an accessible family of iPhones to literally placing a $2,000 folding device right next to two wildly expensive Pro models. It completely shifts the target demographic for this event. But I have to admit, the foldable itself sounds like a beast. Ross Young has been tracking the display supply chain, and his data points to a massive 7.8-inch internal screen paired with a 5.5-inch cover display. The LEC recently corroborated some of these panel orders, but honestly, screen size means nothing to me right now. If I get my hands on this thing, the very first thing I am doing is holding it at an extreme angle and staring down the dead center of the glass. The crease is the only thing that matters. You can engineer the most gorgeous titanium chassis. You can make it impossibly thin. You can slap a premium price tag on it. But if I see a harsh shadow running down the middle of my Netflix movie, it ruins the illusion. Fortunately, Shrimp Apple Pro leaked some fascinating numbers recently, claiming Apple has engineered the crease depth down below 0.15 millimeters, with an angle below 2.5 degrees. If those numbers hold up, it means the crease is practically invisible under normal usage. They are supposedly using advanced liquid metal in the hinge mechanism to guarantee durability against thousands of daily folds without structural fatigue. I want to ask you guys right now, honestly, would you actually drop over $2,000 of your own money to beta test Apple's very first foldable? Or are you the type of person who waits for Generation 2 after everyone else discovers the thermal throttling and hinge defects? Even with the foldable hype, the normal iPhone 18 Pro might actually be the safest bet for most people, and safe definitely does not equal boring this year. Ming-Chi Kuo has been highly vocal about the camera array, and thankfully, we are not just getting another pointless megapixel bump. The main sensor is finally adopting a true variable aperture lens. I do not care about a slick 3D animation showing the lens blades closing during the keynote. I care about the actual physical results. I want to see a portrait taken outside at high noon, then instantly transition into a dimly lit coffee shop. A physical aperture gives the camera genuine optical control over light before the computational photography algorithms aggressively take over. Let us be real, the biggest issue with modern iPhone photography is the overprocessing. You snap a photo, It looks beautifully natural in the viewfinder for a fraction of a second, and then the software artificially brightens the shadows, flattens the contrast, and makes human skin look like plastic. If variable aperture forces the iPhone to rely heavily on pure physics and real light gathering rather than aggressive software tricks, that is a massive win for mobile photography. Then we have the silicon. The A20 Pro chip is supposedly making the leap to TSMC 2 nanometers manufacturing. DG Times has been tracking the 2 nanometers yields closely, but I will be completely honest with you, I do not care if my benchmark scores go up. My current iPhone is already wildly fast. Apps open instantly. What I care about is what my battery percentage says it's 6 in the evening. Is the chassis running cooler when I play heavy games? Is 5G draining less standby power? That is the real metric for a successful chip upgrade. And speaking of battery life, the Pro Max is looking like an absolute monster. The rumors point to a heavily redesigned internal layout, allowing for a significantly larger battery cell in the 6.9-inch chassis, while the smaller 6.3-inch Pro barely gets any physical capacity increase. That creates a brutal buying dilemma. If you want a phone that comfortably fits in one hand, you are sacrificing serious screen-on time. If you want the ultimate battery king, you have to carry a brick. But there's a totally different product launching that might just steal the entire spotlight from the iPhones, something much cheaper that has been neglected since late 2022. The Apple TV 4K. Mark Gurman dropped a bombshell recently stating the new Apple TV hardware has been sitting in a warehouse, completely finished, and actively used by internal employees for months. The sole reason they delayed the launch was to wait for the new Siri AI infrastructure to be fully polished. The timing aligns perfectly. Siri AI rolls out to the public this September, right alongside the Apple TV hardware being ready to ship. I am not saying it is a total lock for the September 9th stage, but if Tim Cook wraps up the iPhone segment and transitions into a living room reveal, I will not be shocked at all. Mako Takara has been hinting at some interesting pricing strategies, and price is the only specification that matters for this box. The current model jumped up to a ridiculous $199. If this new AI-powered Apple TV stays at that price or pushes higher, it is dead on arrival. Your built-in smart TV interface is already good enough for free. But if they drop the price back down and completely overhaul Siri so it actually understands complex conversational movie requests without failing, they might have a massive hit. There's also chatter about a new HomePod Mini hitting alongside it, proving Apple is heavily focusing on the smart home ecosystem this fall. But one thing you should remain highly skeptical about is the Mac Mini. Yes, there are test units floating around Cupertino with unreleased M5 and M6 Pro silicon, but memory shortage constraints in the global supply chain make a September launch highly unlikely. Apple historically separates their Mac announcements into dedicated October events anyway, so expect them to hold the heavy computing hardware back. This September is going to be a pure test of consumer loyalty. A $2,000 foldable, highly expensive Pro iPhones, and an AI-powered Apple TV. The tech is going to be phenomenal, but the real question is whether it will be impressive enough to make you blindly hand over your credit card.